Hello everyone, Cloud VP here, and welcome back to Halloween Otome Good Endings Guide. So this is now the final guide, because I have not yet done Mr. Bandages. I've already done the Count, and I've already done Mr. Wolf, so if those are the videos you're looking for, check out my other videos to find those ones that you're looking for. Anyway, so in this guide, I'm going to be showing, some exclusive events as well as the good ending. By exclusive events, I mean the day 3 free day. I'm going to be showing when you get an option at the end of one of the puzzles, you can go somewhere in the mansion. I'm going to show that one. I'm going to show the mall scene. I'm going to show the in-between day scene that you can get with one of your special guys, so you have an extra interaction to learn their story, as well as the actual ending. There are other bits that I found change with each guy, such as the dungeon scene and as well as the festival scene, and I'm not going to be including those because while they are cute to the story, it will make the video much too long. So I'm not going to include those and other bits of little dialogue that'll be changing. So if you really want to see those, aside from what I'm going to show you in this video, I highly recommend playing this game because, these are really good storylines, and this game is absolutely free for those of you who've been wondering or, wanted to know. It's a free game that you can play yourself and see all the extra bits that I have not been including in these guides. Alright, so anyway, here we go, and I hope you guys enjoy this Mr. Bandages guide, because I know I will. It sounds like a relaxing place. I could really do with some good food and downtime before the next task. Right away, Miss Cloud, follow me. He led me into one of the hidden passages, and after a ridiculous amount of twists and turns, we emerged at an underground parking bay. We got into a nondescript car, and he dropped me off in front of the cafe, giving me instructions to phone him when I'm done. It was such a beautiful day that I decided to eat outside. I'd just taken a seat when a waitress came over to hand me a menu. I'll be back in a few minutes to take your order. I looked over the menu and was more than ready when the waitress returned. I'll have this, and this, and this with the side of this to drink, and this for dessert. All right, I'll be ready soon. I fiddled with my phone while waiting, noting that I had a few messages from Mira and not much else. I should probably call her soon, maybe when I get back to the mansion. While I was musing over what to say to her, the waitress came over and put a plate in front of me. Wait, this isn't what I ordered. What the hell is this? This is not what I ordered. I guess it must have been a mix-up. I got up to see who had gotten my order. Please, calm down, sir. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. Who would order all of this for breakfast? Sorry, that'd be me. Our orders must have got mixed up. I took a seat and began to eat the food I ordered. Stop staring. Eat your own food. This is my table. And my food is here. Look, either eat your food or move. I'm not going to bother carrying all of this to another table. Waitress, bring my food here. Right away, sir. The waitress hurriedly brought his food to the table before scurrying away. Must you eat like that? Like what? Like the food will run away if you don't eat it fast enough. If you're going to sit with me, at least act more dignified. It might not run away, but it'd get cold. The rest of the meal passed in silence until... A hair? It's not mine. Don't eat it! I wasn't going to eat the hair. I was going to throw it away and eat the food. Just don't do anything. Anything at all. He waved the waitress over. I was under the impression that this was a reputable cafe. It is. So, reputable restaurants not only mix up orders, but serve food with hair in it. Hair, sir? Yes, hair. He pointed to my plate. Specifically, that hair. Oh, I believe I was patient enough regarding the mix-up. This I cannot abide. Call your manager. Sir, Now. The waitress headed for hesitated for a moment before letting out a shaky breath. Right away, sir. A few moments later, she returned with a portly man in tow.
What seems to be the problem, sir?
Not only did your staff mix up our orders, they also serve food with hair in it. I demand compensation.
Of course, sir. I'm very sorry that you had a bad experience. This waitress is a trainee, you see, and...
I don't care. Are you going to do anything or not?
I'll see to it that these meals are replaced, and that both the replacements and these are on the house.
Naturally.
I will take care of that right away.
The manager went into the cafe and the waitress cleared our plates. Yes, free food. When the waitress returned with the replacement dishes, I dug in with gusto. There's no food like free food. How much can you eat? You should be full by now. Free food is free food. Where does it all go? Shaking his head, the guy stood up. You're leaving already? You haven't even finished your food. I was already full when they brought this. Can I eat it then? He walked away without responding. I'll take that as a yes. This place is gorgeous. It really was a good idea to come here for Wait, what is that? The guy from the cafe was wandering around taking photos of the area. He certainly got the right idea. This place is beautiful enough to want to immortalize it on film. Immortalize it on film. This seems like a good spot to relax. The sound of the waves, the fresh ocean air, the... Wait, him again? He was taking photos here as well. I wonder if he's on vacation like me. Or maybe he's some famous nature photographer. Nah. I went to a few other tourist spots, and he seemed to show up at every one. He even showed up at the spot where I was waiting for the driver to pick me up and take me back to the mansion. While I waited, curiosity got the better of me. I never said I was patient, and I walked up to him. Are you following me? That's my line. Why would I follow you? I'm the innocent young maiden here. If you don't know, then I'm not telling you. So, it's all some wacky coincidence? Seems like it. Must be fate. Well, it was nice talking to you, but my ride just showed up. I opened the door and looked around for someone who could tell me how to get to the nearest exit, and sure enough, I found a passing servant. How do I get out of this mansion?
Miss Archer, where do you wish to go?
Yeah, I feel like getting some fresh air and walking through the garden seems like an excellent way to do that.
Which gardens do you want to walk through?
The closest one. That isn't the South Gardens.
That would be the East Gardens. Follow me, Miss Archer. It'll be quicker.
Okay, if you're sure it's not too much trouble.
Mr. Vladimir's orders are to see that we see to the whims of our guests, within reason. Consider this one of the duties of my job.
Okay, then lead the way. He led me through many corridors until we were out of the mansion and staring out at a lush area with the lake at its focal point.
We have arrived at the East Gardens.
Wow, this place is breathtaking. Thank you so much for bringing me here.
Think nothing of it.
The man returned to the mansion while I stared at the beautiful lake.
What are you doing here? Did you follow me?
I turned to see Mr. Bandages pulling a small rowboat toward the lake. I just wanted some air. Are you going to row out onto the lake?
Not that that's any of your business, but yes.
Can I come?
No. I came here because it's beautiful and serene. Having you along will just spoil it.
Come on, please let me come along. I'll even row the boat.
Fine, but you better not capsize the boat.
Hey, I'm not that clumsy. Mr. Bandages started rummaging through a bag not even 5 minutes after we left the shore in a little rowboat. What are you doing? He ignored my question, pulling out a camera a few moments later. If you're going to ask me to take a photo of you, just forget it. Like I trust you with my camera. He began to take photos of the beautiful scenery, moving around a bit to get better angles. So, you're a model who likes to play photographer? How'd that happen? Did you see the photographers at one of your shoots and go, that can't be so hard. Let me try, or something? Other way around. I was one of the photographers used by a modeling agency for a fashion spread, and one of the models got sick. Another one of the photographers asked me to fill in with a stupid line like, "You'd get more famous in front of the camera than behind." Apparently, the customer liked it, and the rest is history. Seriously? Seriously. Do you miss it, being a professional photographer? No. I prefer taking photos for myself instead of a customer. And modeling, do you enjoy it? I don't hate it. After that, we lapsed into silence. Well, save for the clicking of his camera. The moment the announcement for dinner started, I was surprised to find out that the PA system extended to the gardens. I immediately started to row back. I probably should have warned Mr. Bandages, who was photographing the landscape behind me, but by the time I realized that, it was too late. The sudden movement caused him to lose his footing. He threw the camera into the boat as he windmilled his arms, trying to keep his balance. And failed. He fell backwards into the water. He resurfaced a few moments later and let out a sigh of relief. I hadn't actually gotten him drowned. What the hell was that? Were you trying to drown me? I reached out my hand to help him get back in the boat. No, I was trying to get back for dinner. He grabbed my hand and tugged me into the water. Hey! What, it's okay for you to make me fall in the water, but I can't return the favor? I didn't do it on purpose. Right, of course it's all because of your bottomless pit of a stomach. I'll have you know that growing lady needs... The way you eat, the only growing you'll be doing is horizontally. At least I can find clothes in my size. You probably couldn't find... I don't need to find them. They're made specially for me. Well, Before I could say any more, I found myself sneezing. I hadn't noticed it before because I was focused on arguing, but the water was freezing. My body was shivering uncontrollably. How long have we been in here? It's so cold. Hey, are you okay? I'm really cold. My teeth were chattering enough to make speech difficult. He wrapped his arms around me. What? We need to get you out of the water. I unconsciously burrowed closer to him. He's warm. How is he still so warm? He quickly assisted me onto the boat before deftly hoisting himself up after me. I reached for the oars, but he batted my hands away and grabbed them himself. I'll do it. But I'm not losing the game just because you got pneumonia from taking too long to get back. His words seemed harsh, but his voice was gentle. I curled up, trying to get warm, while he rowed us back to shore. The speed made for a bumpy ride, and something knocked against my ankle. His camera? It's all wet. I picked it up with shaky hands and cradled it to my chest. I didn't even realize he'd reached the shore until he pulled me into a standing position. He hopped out of the boat and offered me his hand to help me out. I shook my head and clutched the camera tighter. He's going to hate me. I looked at him with teary eyes when he pried the camera out of my hands and shoved it in the bag. Idiot, it's waterproof. Waterproof? He grabbed my hand. Come on, we need to get you warmed up quickly. He pulled me along the path to the mansion, and when we finally reached it, he shouted for the nearest servant to bring towels. Almost instantly, a man carrying warm towels appeared. Mr. Bandages plucked one from the stack and set about getting me dried off. I'm not quite sure when they appeared, but the next thing I knew, 2 female and male servants were whisking me and Mr. Bandages, respectively, to our rooms with promises of a hot bath and comfy bed. I closed my eyes and braced myself, only to have them fly open when I felt my face collide with a hard object. Eric's face. For a moment, I was too shocked to even realize we had stopped falling. Eric didn't seem to have the same problem, though, as he turned his head to face our savior, his butler.
Impeccable timing, as always. Do be careful, Master Vladimir.
Eric looked at me questioningly.
Are you okay, Miss Archer?
Apart from the pain in the jaw, yeah.
I'm terribly sorry about that.
The sound of people murmuring brought our attention to the fact that his arms were still loosely wrapped around me. Before I could react, Mr. Bandages was roughly pulling me away from Eric. Hey, don't manhandle me. He ignored my words, choosing instead to glare at both me and Eric. What the hell are you doing?
I'm making sure my guest is all right.
Mr. Bandages grabbed my hand and started pulling me away. Where are you taking me?
To the on-site doctor.
I looked at Eric over my shoulder and see him smiling back. What about Eric?
Don't worry about him. His skull's so thick nothing will affect him.
Mr. Wolf hurried to catch up with us. Miss Archer, are you okay? I'm fine. I just have a bit of a sore jaw from the collision.
You heard her. She's fine. Don't you have anywhere else to be?
Mr. Wolf looked like he wanted to say something, but Mr. Bandage's glare cowed him. I was dragged along the corridors until we reached a sliding door. Mr. Bandages promptly opened it and threw me inside. The doctor looked at me and then to Mr. Bandages.
This isn't the place to get kinky.
Get out. This is my office. You get out.
Go see to Eric. He fell down some stairs.
The doctor looked doubtfully at Mr. Bandages.
Don't mess up my stuff.
He then raced out of the room. So what was the point coming here if you're just going to chase the doctor away?
That wasn't meant to happen.
Mr. Bandages started rummaging through the cabinets. What are you looking for?
Disinfectant.
But I don't have any cuts. Found it. Wait, what are you?
Shut up and sit still.
But I don't need. He pushed me down on the bed. The sound of the door opening had our heads whipping around to see a startled servant.
Oh my, don't let me disturb you.
Get out. The servant hastily ducked back out, slamming the door. Seeing an opportunity, I used my weight to pin him to the bed. What are you doing? I should be asking you that. You've been acting as weird as Eric.
I'm nothing like Eric. Why the hell are you bringing him up?
You've been acting really weird, okay? Seriously, what are you even trying to do? The door opened once again. This time, it was the doctor returning with Eric.
Like I said, I'm perfectly fine.
You should be... Doctor, I think we're interrupting something.
I said this wasn't the place to get kinky.
I quickly scrambled off Mr. Bandages.
We weren't getting kinky. I was trying to...
He cut himself off abruptly.
You were trying to do what?
Nothing. Why are you holding disinfectant? This isn't for playing around with.
Oh, I see. Nothing, huh?
I believe Mr. Bandages was trying to treat Miss Archer after our collision earlier, although how disinfectant would help a sore jaw is anyone's guess.
Her jaw collided with your head?
Not my head, my jaw.
I see. Wait, did your lips meet? You actually kissed?
What kiss?
Well, our lips did meet, so it was a kiss, albeit an accidental one.
Most painful kiss I've ever had. At that point, Mr. Bandages stalked out of the room.
What's up with him?
He's had a long day. But it's still morning. The length of a day isn't measured by how long it takes, but by the events in it. What? I woke up much later, feeling completely energized. A glance at the clock, however, told me that it was already nighttime. What should I do now? I'm not in the mood to go back to sleep. Maybe I'll look at the snow again. It'll probably melt by tomorrow. I thought about putting my archer costume back on, but decided against it. My onesie was much warmer. I just put my mask on instead. After my late night run-in with Eric, I decided it was better safe than sorry. It didn't take me long to get outside. This place really is beautiful, covered in snow. The sound of footsteps had me straining to make out the figure approaching me. Is that Mr. Bandages? Mr. Bandages was so startled that he almost dropped his camera. Who said that? His head whipped around, trying to locate me. After a moment, his eyes finally locked onto mine. Miss Archer, what are you wearing? My Kippy onesie? Right. It's warmer than my costume, and probably yours, I'd wager. A strong mind can overcome any temperature, but a weak body will not. Are you trying to get sick again? Of course not. Unlike some people, I don't throw myself into harm's way. I did not throw myself. Hey, no need to explain yourself to me. You can keep throwing yourself at people all you want. I clenched my fists when he simply turned to walk away. Oh, I'll throw something, all right. I quickly made a snowball and threw it at his head. Bullseye. Ouch! What the hell? He turned to see my grinning face and glared. If you think I'm going to let you get away with that, you're dead wrong. He quickly scooped up some snow, and I darted behind a tree just in time to avoid getting hit by the snowball he threw at me. I ducked low, gathered snow to make a number of snowballs. You're hiding like a coward? No, I'm a strategist. I started pelting him with snowballs, making sure to move around so he wouldn't be able to get a clear shot. Hey, unfair. You can't throw more than one at once. What happened to the rules? There aren't any rules. It's a free-for-all. Free-for-all, huh? I watched in horror as he charged through the volley of snowballs I was sending his way. Oh crap. Before I had time to move, he tackled me to the ground. I win. You can't win that way. Why not? You said there were no rules. No rules about throwing snow, not people. Who's throwing themselves at someone now, huh? Can you get off me now? You're kind of heavy. He quickly scrambled to get off me. I picked myself off the ground just in time to see him head back into the mansion. Well, that was quick. Well, it was fun while it lasted. We got into a nondescript car and he dropped me off in front of the mall, giving me instructions to phone him when I'm done. I spent a while just window shopping and mentally noting things that I or Mira would like. After a while I got hungry, so I located the nearest restaurant and ordered like I usually do. I was maybe halfway done with my food when a young man walked up to my table. Hey, sweetheart, did your boyfriend leave you? What? I noticed that you've been eating alone for a while. I've been eating alone this whole time. What makes you think I have a boyfriend? Well, there's no way a dainty little thing like you can eat so much. A despairingly laugh brought my attention to the next table. It's that ponytail guy. Shows how much you know. You haven't seen her eat the full way, though. Hey, this is any of your business. This is between me and this beautiful lady right here. Are you kidding me? She isn't even that hot. Well, gee, thanks. That's just what every girl wants to hear. Well, don't expect me to just toss out compliments. Let's blow this joint and I'll show you real time that this lady deserves. Butchered sentences, butchered. Sorry, but I'm still eating. It's fine. I can wait. He plopped himself down on the vacant seat to wait. I tried to continue eating, but was distracted by a murderous aura. I looked up to see the man with the ponytail glaring daggers at the man seated at my table. Wait, I know that glare. Mr. Bandages? Honestly, if you recognized me, then you could have at least used my name instead of that silly moniker. But I don't know your name. What? Do you mean you don't know my name? Does the name Landon Rivera ring any bells? No, actually. Wait, Landon Rivera? You're that guy! What guy? The guy from the upscale menswear catalogs I sell. I turned to face Mr. Bandages, or rather, Landon. So, why do you think I know who you are? In case you haven't noticed, I'm not a man. Well, he is ranked in the top 10 sexiest men alive in issues of Sinocuria magazines for the past few years. Did you just suddenly become his biggest fan or something? No, I'm just a magazine and catalog salesman who gets bored enough to read his stock. Huh. Well, I guess looks really are all that matters. No one would have voted for that personality. Hey, I work hard to keep in shape, unlike somebody. Your metabolism isn't going to last forever, you know. Jealous? I don't even need to work out to stay this thin. Why would I be jealous of your looks? This guy over here is just flattering you because you look thick. You know what they say, the dumb ones don't put up any resistance. What the? Hey, don't bring me into your argument. I've had enough. It's kind of hard to keep eating when I've got jerkface sitting right here. I signaled for the bill, paid, and left. Oh, since you're done, I could totally show you the sights. We can forget about what happened back there. I'm sorry, but I'd actually rather spend the day by myself if you don't mind. You heard her. There's a girl's way of saying back off. I turned to see Landon walking out of the restaurant behind the salesman. It's none of your business who she hangs out with. You know, for someone who thinks she's not hot, you certainly like butting in and ruining the moment. What moment? So you admit that you were trying your luck on her. I admit to no such thing. I just thought she seemed nice, and sure, if something happened, I wouldn't have been opposed, but that's not what I was after. Yeah, I don't believe you. Well, you're not the one who needs to believe me. You see, that's where you're wrong. I'm not letting her go anywhere with you. Like you could stop her. Ah, but you see, she already said that she doesn't want to spend the day with you. Get that into your little head and run along now. The man turned red with embarrassment and looked between me and Landon. Geez, if you guys are a couple, you could have just said so. I don't like getting in the middle of a lover's spat. What? Why else would he get so jealous and possessive? It's a pity, but I'll keep looking and eventually I'll find the girl of my dreams. With that, he turned and left, leaving us alone to absorb what he just said. Did he just say a lover's spat? It's all your fault for being so pushy all the time. If he knew that this is normal for you, he wouldn't have assumed anything. Come on. He suddenly grabbed my hand and started walking, pulling me with him. Hey, what? Where are we going? I dug my heels in to try to stop him, but it only slowed him a little. After that incident, I don't trust you to not get taken in by some sleaze and get lost while the games are in progress. You're the only one likely to get lost. My sense of direction is perfectly fine, thank you very much. Okay, so where's the exit? See, you can't even get yourself out of a mall. Fine, seeing as your navigational skills are supposedly so much better than mine, why don't you be my guide for today? What? What makes you think I even want to spend the day with you? I'm not giving you a choice, jerk. Would you rather I got lost and never made it back? Our team would be forced to forfeit. I guess not. Where do you want to go? Here. He pulled out a tour catalog and pointed to a picture. Oh, that area looks pretty. It's one of the few areas that I haven't visited yet. You mean that you just couldn't find it? Come on, this map looks like it's pretty easy to follow. And we're here. See, that wasn't so hard, was it? He ignored me and started taking photos of the scenery around him. He slowly turned around, taking photos the entire time until he was facing me. You're in my shot. What? Move out of the way. Right, sorry. I moved to the side and couldn't help but admire the look of concentration on his face. He really is handsome when he's not running his mouth off. Hey, move. You're in my way again. What's with that stupid grin anyway? What grin? I wasn't grinning. I have it right here on my camera. He showed me the display. See? Stupid grin. Hey, you really are good with photos. I look really good here. Wait, this shot looks way too focused on my face. I pressed on the touch screen to see other photos before he could pull the camera away. You only told me to move twice, but I'm in a lot of these. The camera takes several shots per second. You didn't move fast enough. Well, could you send me that one? It looks really nice. What? No, I'm going to delete it right now. I don't need pictures of you taking up space. Wait, no, that's such a waste. I grabbed the camera and started to grapple with him for it. I just want one stupid picture. Hey, let go. If it's just a stupid picture, I can delete it. I felt his breath ghosting across my hair as he spoke, and my head jerked up. I froze at the proximity of our faces. His eyes widened momentarily. Sorry. I was about to back away when he pulled me into a rough kiss. Just as suddenly as it started, the kiss ended. He looked at me as though I grew 2 extra heads before turning and running away. Wait, you're going the wrong way. I brought a hand up to touch my still tingling lips. I wonder what that was about. That was definitely a kiss, right? Suddenly, all I felt was intense confusion. Seriously, who runs away after a kiss? Did you? The same man who wandered in the wilderness for hours instead of just asking someone to help you get back. Just ask me for a favor. Why are you even bringing that up? That was years ago and you already put a tracking device on me thanks to it. I've had to have most of my staff mobilized to look for you. I'm allowed to bring it up. Besides, in all these years you haven't changed. Well, until now, I guess. You'd never have come here begging. Who's begging? I'm just asking for a favor to get some fresh air. Surely you can indulge your guests that much. I see. Well, I'm always obliged to keep my guests happy within reason. I do hope you enjoy your time. Oh, and Landon, try not to thaw all over my floors. I was just getting out of the shower when I heard a loud banging at my door. Give me a moment. You have 1 minute to get dressed. Wait, what? Why? 50 seconds. Hold your horses. I quickly changed into my archer costume before opening the door. So, what's the emergency? We're going somewhere. Where? Out. I was about to go back into the room to change into casual clothes when he grabbed my hand. What? He pulled me along as he began to follow the man that was waiting there silently. I tried to dig my heels in when I noticed that we were headed towards one of Eric's garages. Hey, wait! What? So we're just going to leave the mansion right this minute? Yes. What happened to the rules? We have Eric's full permission. Well, that's all fine and good, but you could have at least let me change first. I'm still in my costume. I did. Still, it's not like it matters. I'm not dragging you out to impress anyone. It matters to me. Can you imagine the stares I'll get for walking around in costume while you're not? It's not like you're walking around in a fursuit. Just take off the extras. You wouldn't be saying that if you were the one in a costume. We reached the garage and the man held the door to the car open for us. No, but if I took off the extras, I'd be leaving very little to the imagination. He quickly looked me over and grabbed off my mask, bow, and quiver. See, you look fine. Fine my ass. My hair is still dripping wet. Where the hell are you taking me anyway? He slid into the car. Get in and find out. I glared at him before getting into the car. The driver dropped us at the city center and we spent the next 10 minutes just walking around aimlessly. So... Did you just bring me here to make sure you didn't get lost? Yes. But today isn't a rest day. Does Eric know about this? Eric knows about everything that happens in that mansion. Creepy. Landon let out a laugh. He shot me an inquisitive look. What? I think this is the first time I've seen you laugh. I've laughed before. Not like that. You've done the whole derisive laughter thing, but nothing like that. It's kind of cute. He scowled and looked away. So, why were you laughing anyway? You said Eric was creepy. I don't see what's so funny about that. I've never heard someone call him that. I think I've heard him being called a demented circus monkey once, but never creepy. Usually women are throwing themselves at him, and men are either doing the same or cursing him. I thought back to the meeting I had with him in the kitchen. I can see why. Wait, what do you mean by that? You just called him creepy. I said... Oh hey, check out that girl's outfit. Is it a new fashion style or something? If it is, I'm not complaining. More for the eyes. Both Landon and I whipped around to glare at the men making those comments. Oh, is that a guy? And this is why I didn't want to come out in this. Landon quickly pulled off his jumper and put it over my head. Hey! Put it on. At his demanding tone, I grudgingly shoved my hands through the armholes of the oversized jumper. That look ain't bad either. Almost like waking up the next morning. Oh, for the love of... Come on. Landon grabbed my arm and pulled me along as he walked away. Where are we going? Somewhere where these buffoons aren't. We spent the rest of the night that way, with him dragging me from place to place with no real objective. Still, the one thing I remember from it is the warmth of his hand wrapped around mine. I never thought I'd see the day when he'd admit to being too old for anything. The two of you are close? He likes to think so. And you? I neither confirm nor deny it. Well, at least you have someone that can put up with you. Could you? Could I what? Put up with me? I've lasted 2 weeks, haven't I? You did kick me. That was totally your fault. Maybe. But I don't know any other woman who would. So you sneak up on a lot of women then? As if. They're usually coming after me. Especially now that... He cut himself off and glared at the glass in his hand. Now that my parents aren't keeping quiet about the fact that they want me to settle down. What about you? Do you want to settle down? No, and even if I did, it wouldn't be just because my parents wanted me to. That's true. It wouldn't last if you're not ready for it, or only doing it because you feel obligated to. Not to mention you might get killed in a fit of jealousy if you cheated. Hey, give me some credit. I've never cheated on anyone. And have any of your other relationships been long enough for it to be a possibility? Well... No, not really. But that's besides the point. I wouldn't cheat. I guess I'll have to take your word for it. At least Eric won't have to find a murdered friend one day. You're scary, you know that? It's part of my charm. Right. I'm going to get something to eat. Do you want anything? No, I'm fine. Suit yourself. I left Mr. Bandages to grab a plate of food. After a while, Mr. Bandages took a seat next to me. You're always so happily stuffing your face. I ignored his remark in favor of trying to figure out why he came over. Did you get hungry? Is food the only thing you care about? Well, no, I care about my friends. Friends are good. The right ones, anyway. Yep. Still, there is nothing else here that interests you. Look around. You're surrounded by some of the richest and most famous people in the world, but I haven't seen you blink once. Those things don't matter to me. People are still just people. It's not like I see them again, so why should it matter? Still, many of the people here would gladly flirt around to improve their connections. Heck, after the first event, I think Eric was scarred by just how many people hooked up. I remember him mumbling about needing to have sheets burned, rugs replaced, and, well, yeah. I didn't need to know that. Besides, the food's more interesting than a potential hookup. So there's no one you find attractive? Of course there are attractive people here. I mean, just look at Eric. You find Eric attractive? Of course he's attractive. Do you think all these people flock to him because he's just the host? I could probably... Never mind. So anyone else? Mr. Wolf's really cute. That crowd of girls just say it all. He's also pretty spineless. Seriously, why do girls go crazy over him? He's sweet and kind. He's totally the kind of guy you want to bring home to meet your parents. It's not like you need to worry about bringing some guy home to meet the parents. No, I guess not. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. That was insensitive of me, and you'd think I'd know better. I need some food. Right. Hey, how about some more food? Anything here that you haven't tried yet? Like, maybe that? He pointed towards the untouched centerpiece. That's the centerpiece. So? So it'd look weird if we ate it. Eric didn't have all this food prepared just to be stared at. Well, okay, that might have been part of it, but it was mainly to be eaten. He walked over to it and cut a few chunks off before anyone could say a word. Here. I eyed him warily as he handed a piece to me. Are you feeling okay? I'm fine. Are you sure? You're acting a bit weird. I may be a tad tipsy, but only a little. Are you sure you're not just completely drunk? If I was drunk, I'd be shouting out my secrets to the entire world. I'm an honest drunk. Eric thinks it's because I'm too guarded normally. But really, what does he know? And you don't think that this current bout of honesty might be caused by you being drunk? Of course not. Didn't you hear me? I'd be shouting out my secrets, and seeing as I'm simply talking and haven't said anything too damning, I'm fine. I'm still sober enough to know that I should not share certain things. I looked down at the chunk of the centerpiece he'd given me. I could totally take advantage of this. Before I could think too much about it, I shoved the piece into his mouth. To sober you up a little. He chewed and swallowed before looking at me with a curious expression. The honesty is ruining my opinion of you. I see. Well, thanks. You're a very talkative drunk, you know that? Yes, I'm well aware of that, although the volume does increase with my alcohol intake as well. So why'd you let yourself get drunk anyway? Someone could really take advantage of you like that. I wouldn't mind you taking advantage. Wow, that sounds so much like the Count would say. I wasn't really paying attention. I guess the waiters kept topping up my glass because it really was only one. Hey, Mr. Wolf, didn't you say you'd sing us a victory song? I did, didn't I? Well, go up there and show us what you've got. You just want to know who I am. I won't deny that. Now, are you going to sing or not? I'll do it. Mr. Wolf spoke to the musicians that were playing before heading towards the mic. He seemed like a different person as he grasped it. Okay, if I could get everyone's attention, I would like to dedicate the song to my newfound friends. I've spent 2 unforgettable weeks with them, and I hope they enjoy it as much as I did. A familiar tune began to play as heads swiveled in his direction. Oh gosh, that's Tiger! I touched Tiger! That timid wolf is Tiger? Will wonders never cease? Damn, Mira's going to be so jealous. He finished the song and smiled at us, before being carried away by a sea of screaming fangirls. See, that's how girls normally react. We should help him. Neither of us would be able to get him away from those vultures. But we should. If it gets too rough, Eric's staff will intervene. Don't worry about that. Besides, I may be getting a bit dizzy. What? I need to get you some fresh air and more food. I grabbed his arm and tugged him towards the balcony, grateful when he didn't resist.
You're not going to throw me over the railing, right?
Do you really think I can lift someone as big as you? He brought his hands up to wrap around my waist, and I looked down at me from top to bottom.
You're right. You're tiny.
I pulled away from him before making him sit on a bench. Wait here and don't move. I'm going to get you something to eat. I quickly made my way back inside to fill up a plate while trying not to think of how his hands felt. He's drunk, and even if he wasn't, he said he wasn't looking to settle down, and I'm not interested in a fling, so I really need to just stop thinking about this. I let out a deep breath in an attempt to compose myself before going back outside.
I haven't moved. See? Do I get a reward?
Here's your reward. I shoved the plate into his hands. He looked down at it for a moment before sighing.
I was hoping for something different.
What could you possibly be hoping for? He was silent for a while, and just when I thought he wasn't going to answer, he put his plate down. This. I once again felt his hands on my waist, but this time they pulled me towards him as he brought his mouth towards mine. My mind went blank the moment our lips met. Without conscious thought, I found my hands moving to tangle his hair and pull him even closer. The hands at my waist drew my body flush against his. The sudden contact snapped me back to my senses, and I called upon my self-control to pull away. Oh crap, that was not good, but I felt it, so no, bad thoughts. I don't want a one-night stand, and that's definitely where that was headed. What? He scrunched up his eyes and brought a hand to his head. He looks kind of cute, like, no, stop having those thoughts. I really shouldn't have drank so much. His words were like a bucket of water falling all over me. Of course, he's drunk, and that's why he... You should eat. I should be heading back. I clamped down on my emotions and turned to leave. No, wait. He reached out and grabbed my hand to stop me before letting it go almost immediately. Don't go, please. Did he just say please? You don't look too well. I'll go and find someone to take you back to your room. No, I want to talk to you. What we were doing wasn't talking. Although we did use our... Damn it. If this is about that kiss, don't worry about it. You're drunk and... My state of inebriation has nothing to do with it. I can still make rational... You're saying you would have done it sober? I did it before, didn't I? Yeah. That. I've been trying not to think of that. You ran away last time. I'm not exactly doing that now, am I? No, but then again, you seem like you'd fall over if you tried to stand, let alone run. I'd like to refute that, but I probably would fall over. Still, I wouldn't run, even if that weren't the case. Not this time. Oh, what makes this time different? This time, I know what I want. And what's that? You. And if the way you kissed me back was any indication, you want me too. You're too full of yourself. I was just caught up in the moment, but don't worry. I'm thinking very clearly now, and I know it's time to leave. Do you think I'd offer myself to just anyone? Do you have any idea how many people would jump at the... Well, I'm not most people, okay? If you want a fling, then just head back into that ballroom and find yourself someone willing. You were very willing just a minute ago. So what is it you're angling for? Marriage? Well, I've got news for you. I'm not about to commit myself to someone I've only known for a fortnight. I knew you were going to be like this. Do you really think I want to spend my life with an insensitive jerk like you? Besides, I don't even know your parents were pushing you to marry. You're the one that told me. If you're not looking for marriage, then what's the problem? We can't just keep hooking up until one of us gets bored and... Hell will freeze over before I become one of your floozies. I'm a person, not some toy you can pull out whenever you feel like and then forget about. I'm offering you a hell of a lot more than I offer most. At your own expense? Do you think you can buy me? If there's one thing I've learned, that it's women, no matter how rich, still love being lavished with gifts and money. Right, And because I'm not rich and successful like everyone here, I'm going to prostrate myself right in front of you for whatever scraps you deign to give me? Is that really what you think? Wait, what? But here's the thing. I wouldn't take a cent from you if I was starving. I don't care about your money or whatever else it is you think I want. Hold up. Go back to the not rich and successful parts. I'm not sure Why don't you ask your friend Eric, because I'm done talking to you. With that, I stormed back into the mansion and headed for my room. I'd barely even left the ballroom when I heard the sound of feet rushing after me. I didn't even look back, just quickened my pace. Leave me alone. I'm afraid that ignoring your obvious distress would be very ungentlemanly of me. I almost faltered at Eric's unexpected voice. Don't you have fangirls to flaunt around for? They've found another to amuse themselves with, so I'm all yours if you want to talk about what ails you. Well, I don't. Forgive me for prying, but I couldn't help but notice that you disappeared into a balcony with Landon before storming off. Did he upset you? You can ask him for the details. I'm going back to my room. I've known him long enough to realize that he probably put his foot in his mouth again. I don't know what he said to you, but I can assure you while he's not great at expressing his feelings, he does always mean well. I think you're giving him too much credit. He's an ass. Landon? Well, he's never been good with saying what he means, and when he tries, he tends to do so in the worst possible way. So, yes, he does come across as a bit of an ass. Even so, he wouldn't intentionally. Why are you defending him so much? You don't even know what he said, and yet you're rushing to his aid like some white knight, when he probably wouldn't even do the same for you. He's actually gotten me out of a lot of tough spots. He's been one of the few people who's always been 100% sincere with me. He's also one of the few people in this world that I have the privilege of calling a friend. It's because of that I'm willing to butt in now. Why would it even matter what I think of him or what he said? It's not like I'm ever going to see him again. You of all people should know that. Because when Landon starts to care about someone, he doesn't stop. This time, I really did falter. The only one he cares about is himself. A few weeks passed and I finally settled back into my old routine. The whole trip seemed like some sort of weird dream, now that reality had once again set in. Still, I'm glad I went, even if it didn't exactly end happily. Sometimes I even found myself wondering what they were doing now, even though it really hadn't been all that long. I kind of missed them, Mr. Wolf, the Count, and even Mr. Bandages. I pushed these thoughts away as I unlocked the front door to the house Mira and I shared. Stopping at the store on my way home made me later than usual, but the house shouldn't have been this quiet. Hey, Mira, I'm back. We're in the kitchen. We? Hey, you weren't allowed in the kitchen after last time. I cut myself off as I rounded the corner to see Mira and a very uncomfortable-looking Landon nursing mugs of coffee. Mira, what's going on? Mira knew all about what happened in those 2 weeks, and especially that last night, so her sitting calmly and drinking coffee with him didn't make any sense to me. You didn't poison the coffee, did you? We've been here waiting for you for over an hour. If I did poison it, he'd be dead by now, or ready to kneel over. Landon shifted uncomfortably before speaking. Mira, could you... Sure thing. I'll be in the other room if you need me, Risa. Wait, Mira, what? I couldn't even finish the question. There's so many running through my mind. What's going on? What's he doing here? What did the two of you talk about? What should I do? What... I think the two of you need to talk. But just listen to what he has to say. If you want to kick him out after, I'll even help you do it, alright? Alright. I watched her leave before turning back to Landon. What the hell do you want? I glared at him icily. It hadn't been so long that I could think of all the things he said to me without getting angry. I want to talk. Well, that didn't work out so well last time. I remember. He shot me a wry smile. Last time, I wasn't exactly in my right mind, and I said some... If I recall, you said that being drunk made you honest, so you obviously meant everything you said.
That's the thing about me being drunk. I might say what I mean, just not the way I mean it.
What does that even mean?
Do you know how hard it was for me to ask Eric for your details?
He's your best friend. Why would that be hard?
Because I'm supposed to be the one who protects him. I'm the one who helps him, not the other way around. I'm supposed to be the strong one, the one who doesn't need anything. But then you came along. You don't know how much I hated you for that. You made me feel weak. You, this brat who argued with me at every chance, made me. I tried to deny it, but it was there. That last night, I decided to just go for it, and you shot me down. Not that I can blame you for that. I thought that was my sign that I should move on, and I tried. I really did. I spent weeks trying to keep myself occupied with other things, but every little thing just brought me back to you. Eventually, I caved. I went to Eric and asked him about you. I thought that maybe the reason I kept thinking about you is because of what you said, that you weren't rich and famous. He gave me the answers I asked for, but it didn't change anything. Then he sat me down and showed me the video feed from that night and asked me what I meant when I said all those things. He felt that you should hear it. So, you have no idea how embarrassing this is. He pulled out a folded up piece of paper. Eric chose the wording so it's more flowery than I would have liked, but he's better at these things than I am, and after last time I didn't want to risk it, so he cleared his throat and started to read. I'm not about to commit myself to someone I've only known for a fortnight. I'm not ready for marriage, but I want to spend more time with you. I'm offering you a hell of a lot more than I offer most. You're the only one that's made me want something more. A monogamous relationship of indeterminate time. A relationship for as long as we both want it. Being lavish with gifts and money. Being shown my affection in one of the few ways I know how. At my expense. I want to give the world to you. Do you think I'd offer myself to just anyone? You're special to me. He looked up at me warily as I stared back at him blankly. Well, say something. What do you want me to say? I know what I want to hear, but that's not what this is about. I'm being completely honest with you, and I want you to do the same. Did Eric write that for you too? No. I looked at him, silently trying to determine the sincerity of his words. So, what happens when you get bored? What? That night you said that we'd hook up until one of us was bored. Oh, that. Mira says that you've never been with anyone for longer than a week. We spent 2 weeks together at Eric's mansion, and I spent the past few weeks pining over you, so... And I'm not even close to bored yet. To be honest, if I'm going to do it, I might as well go all the way. I'm more worried about the opposite. I'm not exactly Mr. Winning Personality here. Still, a relationship only works if both parties are interested, so if you don't want me, there's nothing I can really do about it. You say that, but how do I know you're not just trying to get into my pants and won't lose interest when you're done? I'm rich, but not even that. I would fly halfway around the country to grovel in the hopes of getting laid. Besides that, do you remember what I told you about my parents? Yes. The reason I lost interest in the others wasn't because I could have them at my beck and call. It's because I could never see myself caring about them the way my parents care for each other. And you can see yourself caring about me that way? I've never cared for anyone the way I do for you, and it just keeps getting stronger. You sound like Eric again. He's my best friend, and if you tell him I said that, I will deny it. Some part of that idiot must have rubbed off on me. So, your answer? Where are you staying? I should probably call a taxi to get you back. You don't need to. I watched him hang his head dejectedly and decided to take pity on him. How long are you staying in this town for? A few days. I thought you might want some time too. And, well, I wanted to take some photos even if... You're going to need a guide to show you the sights, and I know just the person. It's okay, you don't need to watch out for me. I can find my way around, and if not, well, my flailing will take me to interesting places to photograph. but I'm going to need to watch out for you if we're going to enter a monogamous relationship and of indeterminate time. I kind of need to keep you safe, don't you think? His head snapped up so fast that I winced even as I tried to hide a smile at the goldfish impression his mouth was making. Are you saying what I think you're saying? I'm not sure. What do you think I'm saying? Because I'm pretty sure we started out with some pretty rough communication. You want to enter into a relationship with me? Sounds crazy, huh? I guess hell must be experiencing winter. Okay, just to double clarify something. He got up and walked towards me with all the grace of a panther. He put both hands on my hips before leaning down towards me. You really are tiny, you know that? At least meet me halfway here. I'm tiny and you're giant. Opposites attract. I smiled before leaning up to meet his lips. Our lips had barely touched when Mira burst into the room. Hey, no making out in the house. Rules are rules. You were listening at the door. No, wait, don't answer that. He looked at me before grabbing my arm and dragging me out of the kitchen. Hey, where? We were barely out of the house, the door still swinging shut, when he crushed his lips against mine. I smiled inwardly at his impatience as I wrapped my arms around his neck. I knew the road ahead wasn't going to be easy, but nothing worth it ever is. Alright guys, and that is Mr. Bandages, Good Ending and Exclusive Scenes Guide. I must say, one of those scenes totally took me by surprise when Mr. Bandages like knocked on the door after I was showering. I was like, hello? Should I be reading this? I also apologize if my voice is cracking a bit near the end. Ooh, for some reason, even though I've been taking breaks in between recording all three of these stories, my voice is really hating it today. So it's kind of hurting it to talk a little bit. So I apologize if that happened. I stumbled over so many sentences in that last little bit. I was like, oh, I can't even believe it. I'm so close. Anyway, that was really cute. I did like his scenes. It was better than I thought it was going to be. He is cute. However, for my personal opinion, I still think the Count's was my favorite. So he's my favorite of this one. If you guys have actually played this game and, seen all the endings, let me know which one, you liked. I'd like to know what character someone favorited or went for, because that's something really cool. Everyone goes for someone different. Everyone has different tastes. So for this one in particular, my highest taste, I guess, the guy I liked the most was the Count. But, I liked all the stories. So yeah, anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video and have been able to see what you've been looking for, or just find out how all these stories went. It was a lot of fun to play this game, and if you haven't, I really, really, really recommend playing this game. So anyway, I hope you all enjoyed it, and until next time, bye everyone!